This is the best book I've read this year so far, a new favorite 5 stars. This author delivers a swoony and lighthearted read, slow burn romance with high tension between main characters. If you're looking for a quick, short, and delightful read with a lot of Taylor Swift references, this one's for you. Hello everyone and welcome to another reading wrap-up. It's been a long time since I put myself in front of a camera, so for this video I thought about putting together my February and March monthly wrap-ups because I've been on a reading slump recently and I've been coping with some personal stuff and it's been hard to even find time to read. So these 2 months I read a total of 17 books, 6 in February and 11 in March, so with no further delay, let's get going. Starting with February, the first book I read was Smoking Gun by Lainey Lawson. I read this book because I really needed a fast-paced insta-love type of book to get me out of my first reading slump of the year, and this book somehow almost successfully did. It honestly wasn't how I expected it to be. I was so in for the cute cowboy romance part that I didn't see that plot coming at all, and it kind of threw me off a bit. Like, it didn't make sense to me because it was like for 5 chapters and I was like, what the hell is going on? But I think it wasn't that bad for a debut novel. I rated it 3 stars. Second was The Naval Wager by Caswell. Okay, this book was definitely something. I might have mixed feelings. I rated it 3.5 stars. This book is a retelling gender reverse take on the classic movie Sabrina with a stamp twist in which a set of sisters create a dating app and their venture is put at risk when the boy next door returns home to put the algorithm to test. I don't think the writing style was for me. It felt too heavy and made it difficult to follow the storyline. The main characters even fell in love way too fast when he was supposedly down bad for her sister. And the way they talked about Lexi all the time was weird, as if she was some sort of real-life goddess. It gave me the ick, I'm sorry. But anyway, I really liked the end, it was sweet. Next one is It's Complicated by Camilla Isley. Camilla Isley's books are a breath of fresh air. This one was a 5-star read for me. This book follows 3 best friends, Laurie, Jace, and Aiden, entangled in a love triangle. Laurie is in love with Aiden, who is getting married, so she asks Jace to pretend to be her boyfriend for the wedding. But things get confusing when Jace starts acting like a real boyfriend and Laurie isn't sure how to feel about it. So this might be my new favorite book by this author. This was so good, I couldn't put it down. The tension between both main characters was out of this world. You could feel it from the very beginning. The banter, the drama, and the rom-com aspects, everything was absolutely amazing. This author never disappoints and having a great time is guaranteed. If you're looking for a quick, short, and delightful read with a lot of Taylor Swift references, this one's for you. Our Ruined Beginnings by Violet Paine. This book follows Harper and Madden, whose lives took a sharp turn after a mistake and they're confronted with a painful memory they can shake. As time passes, their relationship evolves, but they wonder if they can truly move forward or if the past will always loom over them. This book kind of reminded me a bit of Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington, a book that's read me into pieces. In some aspects, I could see the plastic coming from miles away since the first few chapters, and somehow it still shocked me when it was revealed because of how well the tension was built up. Anyway, overall, this is a great book if you're looking for a captivating story with the brothers best friend trope and bully vibes. I rated this book 3.5 stars. Icebound by Meredith Trapp. This book follows Rob Tremblay, who is a hockey player, and Nina Alstein, who is an art student. They get tangled in a fake relationship only to find out they both want more despite their age difference. This was incredibly good for a debut novel. This author did an impressive job writing a hockey age gap romance book with a fan family trope. I rated it 4.5 stars. The engaging storyline quickly hooks you and makes you not want to stop reading. I really liked the main character's development and how the story itself had ways. I cannot wait for the next book in the series. And Love Contract by Sophie Lark. I have to give myself some days off from this book because I wasn't in the right mood for it, and I'm the biggest reader, and I'm glad I did because Sophie Lark is one of my autobiography authors and she never misses. I love how she always tries new genres and adds different tropes to her books. The main characters were amazingly written and the love story was marvelous. It's not my favorite Sophie Lark book, but it's definitely worth a read, and if you're in for a some worthy and hard to read, this one's for you. I rated it 4 stars. Moving on to March, I read Falling for Fury by Brittany Rain. I was really looking forward to reading this book, but I just couldn't connect with any of the characters at all and couldn't even feel the bond between the main characters. Maybe it was me, right book and wrong time, I don't know. I wanted to DNF since the first few chapters, but I didn't solely because I was reading it as an arc. The writing was really good though, I give you that. I rated it 2.5 stars. Hate Mail by Donna Marchetti. This is the best book I've read this year so far, a new favorite 5 stars. It follows Naomi and Luca, who have been exchanging letters since 5th grade and eventually become friends. 2 years after communication stopped abruptly, Naomi receives a mysterious letter renewing her determination to have the last word. I had the best time reading this book, couldn't stop reading, and found myself eager to go back to it all the time. This author was born to be a writer. She delivers such an awesome story with great banter, and I can wait to read more from her in the future. I wish I could read this book for the first time again. Sidelined Love by Emery Paige. This author delivers a swoony and lighthearted read, slow and romance with high tension between main characters. This book follows Hailey, who wants to stay focused on her goals, and Levi, who is the captain of the hockey team. Levi can get Hailey out of his mind, but the last thing she needs is to get dragged into the chaotic life of a star athlete. So Levi escapes his way into just lessons for Hailey, forcing them to face off in more ways than one. This was such a cute debut novel. I found myself drawn to the story since the first chapter, and even though the storyline felt a bit repetitive to me towards the end, I still couldn't have enjoyed it more. Both main characters, Hailey and Levi, have their own issues, but it's admiring how they somehow find their way to communicate and tackle their worries and find comfort in each other. I rated this one 4 stars. Next we have Coach by Devney. If I'm being honest, I'm kind of disappointed because I thought I would love this book, but it wasn't that way, and as my first Devney book, I really wanted to love it. And listen, as someone who really enjoys the miscommunication trope, I was so confused with this one. I also needed more revealing from the MMC because him apologizing to her after 10 whole years just because they started working together is not it, and she just forgives him way too fast. So I gave this one 2.75 stars. Following Coach, I also read Blitz by Devney. This book was so much better than the first in the series. I really liked the main characters, Jensen and Tor's relationship, and how will the author manage the age gap and forbidden romance aspect. But I wish we had more info on Jensen's past and her issues at Stanford, because it was slightly described and it was a bit confusing towards the end, and hence it felt rushed. But I really enjoyed this one, even though it took me a whole minute to understand Devney's writing style. I gave it 4 stars. Behind the Camera by Curto. This book's about Maven, a sport photographer, and Dallas, an NFL player. She needs a job after leaving college, and when he offers her a nanny position, she takes it. Despite rules against dating players, their professional relationship turns romantic, leaving Dallas conflicted about his feelings for Maven. The romance in this was really cute, and I really liked all the characters, but it lacked of real plot for me, and it was a bit repetitive at some points. I read Coach and Blitz before this one, and maybe that's why I didn't get to fully enjoy this book, because it felt like I was reading the same book repeatedly. So I gave it 3 stars. Road the Moon by Ava Hunter. Team the Heart, the first book in the series, was one of my top 10 books of 2023, so imagine my happiness when I got sent an arc for book 2. This book follows Dakota McGraw and Davis Montgomery. She's a pastor chef who left her hometown to pursue her dream, and he's a former Marine. Now she's back in town, pregnant and bruised, escaping from her abusive ex, so Davis moves her to the runaway ranch to protect her. As they embrace their second chance, the shadow of her past threatens their newfound happiness. I love this book so much, couldn't put it down for real. Ava Hunter knows how to write a delightful and captivating story that keeps you hooked in. I don't even know what to outstand from the story because I relished every single thing. Must say, the plot twist had me gagged. I rated this one 4.75 stars. I really cannot wait for the next book in the series, and I'm beyond excited. Next we have The Love Algorithm by Camilla Isley. The way Camilla Isley's books get better and better each time, this author never misses. This book follows Reese, a successful career-focused woman who feels content until she's assigned to babysit Lethia's son, Thomas, who is said to become her boss. Despite his charm, Reese struggles to maintain boundaries as they get to know each other, questioning her beliefs and feelings along the way. I was very much looking forward to Thomas' book. This is the 3rd in series, and it did not disappoint. I was so immersed in the story that I didn't even realize I was finishing the book, and that's when you know it was a fantastic book. It even felt too short for me. This was such a fun, lovely, and sweet read. You can always count on Camilla Isley to deliver engaging romantic comedies. I feel like I always say the same things when reviewing this author's books, but it's just because I really enjoy this author's writing extremely, and I know I love whatever she writes. This book is coming out on April 26th. I gave it 4 stars. Good Game by Madison Fox. I started this book because I was bored and really close to enter another reading slump, and I ended up reading it in one sitting. It wasn't bad for a debut novel, even though the writing, mostly the conversations between the characters, seemed a bit childish, but overall it was a quick read with an engaging storyline, and I rated it 3.5 stars. I'm pretty sure I'll be reading the next book in the series when they get released. And lastly, Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. This book surprised me for the best. This is a hockey player and figure skating romance set in college. It follows Reese, who is struggling with a brutal injury, and Sadie, who is dealing with her own insecurities. They both form a connection as they navigate their difficulties together. I really like this book. I mean, I'm gonna eat every single hockey college romance, but the only thing is that I wish we had seen more of Reese's mental health instead of just focusing on Sadie. But the fact that this is his author debut is impressive. I gave it 4 stars. If you like it, Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, you should read this one as well. So those were all the books I've read these last 2 months. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe and to follow me on all my socials. See you in the next video.